Hi everybody. So tonight, despite the virus that's continuing to ravage the world, I can still finally tell you guys what I think of Pixar's latest creation, Onward. And guys, yes, I I will agree that this is not your typical Pixar movie whatsoever. In fact, this kind of reminds me of um, sort of a Dumb and Dumber style road trip type of movie, but it still has some of Pixar's classic signature tender moments in it. So basically, guys, the basic story here is that Ian and Barley Lightfoot are basically these two elves that basically grew up in a town where magic used to be um, super important and the and the way you survived in life, but because magic was super hard to master, and the fact that not everybody can master the discipline that it takes to use magic. Magic was kind of forgotten in favor of the more convenient use of um, e- electricity to take the place of magic. But Barley Lightfoot is kind of this guy that still believes it, 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 it in all of the ancient traditions of magic, and he's even developed his own board game called The Quest of Yore, and and basically the Barley's mantra is the obvious path. The easier path is still obvious. The path of peril or the more adventurous path always gets the job done. And his brother Ian is basically the Charlie Brown of that, at least to start out the movie, because Ian kind of like can't make friends at school, what and 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 uh, and Barley's the more core one of the siblings, and also the one that again that gets in trouble with their mom's boyfriend, uh, Officer Bargo, because again, Barley won't stand for 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 any old buildings representing the town's old tradition of magic to be destroyed or tampered with. But 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 one day on Ian's 16th birthday, um, his, his mom, who I think his name is Laurel, but Officer Bargo calls her by her name hardly any, so I'm just going to call her Mrs. Lightfoot from now on. So Miss Lightfoot basically shows Ian and Barley both a present that their dad we 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 Whedon basically wanted them to have before he passed away due to an illness, and it's a magic staff that has a spell inside of it, that has a spell that can allow a will to basically co- co- come back for life for one day and until the sun sets. but even though Barley's the one who believes in magic more out of the two of them, he cannot activate the staff. But Ian, again, kind of the Charlie Brown and the less confident sibling, it is actually able to accidentally make the bring visitation spell work, but the thing is, since Ian gets distracted and doesn't draw all the degrees of magic, which is to to say everything from your spire art, to and to stay focused, and believe most of all, the spell only half works, thus destroying the Phoenix gem that is vital for the spell to work. So accidentally, Ian only brings the lower half of we Wilden back, and him and Barley go on this epic road trip, or a quest, as Barley calls it, to basically find another Phoenix gem, so 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 that they can both see their dad one last time. And at first, the the whole focus of the movie is that Ian's really the one who want who wants to see Wheatland more than anything, because be, because their dad passed away before Ian was born. So Barley is the one that basically tries to take the lead on basically guiding them towards finding the spare Phoenix gem. And the first stop is this place called the Manticore's Tavern, which she is supposed to be the keeper of the map to the location of the spare Phoenix gem. But what Ian and Barley discover after Ian is that Corey, which is the Manticore's first name, she's basically also given up on ways of magic and sort of keeps the map on display, but through a series of chaotic events, the tavern and the actual map to the second Phoenix gem's location is destroyed. Oh, and by the way, Corey has essentially turned the tavern into like a restaurant. So Barley and Ian are basically forced to take the lower half of their dad and basically try and find the Phoenix gem using only a kid's play menu that has the message already decoded by a previous customer of the tavern, that reads Raven's Point. And again, Ian's the one who sort of says, hey, look, let's take this expressway that way. That way, since the visitation spell only lasts for 24 hours, we'll get as much time with Dad as we can. And then Barley's answer to that is, again, like I said, the easy path is the obvious path, and and in a real quest, um, a quest should always be an adventure and filled with peril. So Barley ultimately kind of makes and reluctantly disagree pretty much to take the path of peril, which along the way that they encounter these things called sprites, which are actually pixies that have turned into I guess you could say a biker gang, kind of like Charlie's Angels, that after Ian accidentally shrinks Barley while they're driving Barley's band, eventually named Guinevere. The the sprites basically said almost try and beat the Lightfoots up, almost kind of like the Dumb and Dumber style, I guess you could say, but thanks to some creative thinking by Wheatland himself, that Ian and Barley and their dad's lower half are able to escape. The whole other subplot to this is that their mom basically says, "Oh my God, this is way too dangerous for Ian because he's basically a coward." But throughout the rest of the movie, slowly but surely, and with the guided help of Barley, and yes, even their dad to an extent, Ian slowly starts to become more confident, not only as a person, but as a true second generation wizard, and really the first wizard that the town has seen in many, many years. But what ultimately ends up happening is Barley ultimately reveals at first that he only has 3 memories of their dad, which include basically tapping on his shoes and basically being born and just playing with him. In fact, Barley and him basically communicate with Will by basically tapping their foot because obviously with their dad missing his upper half, he has no voice except for the beginning of the movie where he basically describes that the town that they live in once used to rely on magic. But what Barley ultimately reveals is that toward the last few minutes of the movie is that he actually has a secret 4th memory that he doesn't like to talk about, because on the day that Wheatland died, Barley was actually supposed to go in and say goodbye to him, but because Barley was so scared from his dad being hooked up to all kinds of tubes, he was too scared and he never got the chance to say goodbye. So while Officer Bargo, which is their mom's boyfriend and kind of Ann and Barley's stepdad, basically tries to track them down. Mrs. Lightfoot and the and Core the Manticore actually secretly are trying to find Anne and Barley and Guinevere the Van as well, because what the boys don't know is that there's an actual curse when the second Phoenix gem is is located, that an ancient dragon will appear, and an ancient sword that the Manticore once had called the Curse Crusher is the only way to destroy the curse. But because again through all kinds of classic uh shenanigans like getting lost and actually Barley making the ultimate decision to sort of sacrifice Guinevere because because it's the only way to stop Officer Bargo and the rest of the police from catching them. Ian ultimately realizes that, hey, he 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 might not have ever had the chance to get to know his actual dad, but in a weird way, he's kind of always had that sort of male paternal figure in Barley, or as Ian puts it better, he has this checklist of all the things that he's always wanted to do with his dad, and right as the movie's about to end, and Ian's basically crossed everything off because now he knows he's not gonna get a chance to do it because the sun's about to set. He realizes that he actually has been able to do all those things with Barley. And real quick, one of my favorite scenes in this movie is I think it's after they just get overseeing the sprites for the first and really only time in the movie, because the next time we see them, Mrs. Lightfoot and Corey are the ones dealing with them. But Barney and Anne are just taking a break. And one of them brings up, and Barney has the radio turned up all the way in the van, and while Ann and Barney are arguing outside of the gas station, their dad happens to be dancing, and this quickly evolves into all three of them actually having a father and son dance off, and it's actually really funny. And also, it's when Ian kind of uses a disguise spell to transform into Officer Bargo, to basically fool fellow members of the police force, because the boys have ended on the opposite side of town, and because Ian forgets the magic decree of the disguise spell to always tell the truth. It 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 ultimately it causes them to almost get caught, and to reveal that Ian thinks Barney is basically one big screw up because he never takes anything seriously and never wants to do anything the quick and safe way. But but I guess I'll cut straight to the end here. Um, so even after Barley and Think they finally reached the resting place of the Phoenix Gem, which is this old cave that appears to have that has this marking of a wizard. It ends up taking them right back to their school, and but and after Ian and Barley separate, a- after they sort of have like their final blow up over Ian truly thinking that Barley is a screw up. Um, uh, and after Barley finds the real Phoenix Gem, what was in a fountain in their hometown this whole time. But that releases a dragon that is literally made out of trash, and their high school's mascot. It's with the help of Cody the Manticore and Mrs. Lightfoot that eventually found the Curse Crusher, courtesy of Corey remembering how to be a true Manticore and paralyzed the pawn shop owner that the Curse Crusher ended up in because Corey had basically turned the tavern into a restaurant. Mrs. Lightfoot is ultimately able to throw it to Ian and stop the dragon, but in doing so, Barley tells Ian that, hey, look, I may have never had Dad, but at least I always had you looking out for me, and I owe a lot of everything I've become in these last 24 hours to you. So you go see Dad. Just that what the few seconds of sunset that they have, because you never got the chance to say goodbye. So here comes my one pet peeve of the movie, guys. Well, I guess you could say there's more than one, but unfortunately, we don't actually get to hear any dialogue between Barley and Wieland. But we do get to see in the distance, courtesy of Anne, that they sort of have just enough time to embrace in one last hug. And yeah, guys, that's really the movie in a nutshell. And sort of a fun fact, that this movie script was actually inspired by the director, unfortunately losing his own father at a young age. And again, guys, to all the people that are saying, onward, it isn't your typical Pixar film, you're right, because it truly focuses on just two brothers going on an adventure with their dad. Even though throughout the whole movie, except for the last few seconds, that their dad isn't even old, but again, as I said, through Will's foot tapping, he is still in a weird way able to not only enjoy the fun that he and the boys go on, but he is still able to dissolve more than a few of their disagreements, shall we say. And yeah, guys. Uh, Another one of my favorite scenes is that Ian basically um learning this bridge spell, and Barley running out of rope, and Ian realizing that he didn't need Barley's rope to confidently execute the spell at all. So throughout the movie, you not only see, again, you see Ian's confidence as a wizard and a person rising, and ultimately at the end of the movie, you see you see Anne and Barley like finally truly able to um I guess both appreciate the special bond that they've had, all because of one last trip that they got to take with their dad. And guys, again, it's a shame because of this stupid virus that's again been ravaging the world, that Onward basically got destroyed at the box office because uh, I'll tell you guys something right here. Next to the Toy Story franchise, this is probably my favorite entry from Pixar to date. So yeah, guys, again, Onward is truly something fun, fun and enjoyable, and 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 it is available on digital as of now. And for those of you that don't feel like getting it on digital, on April 3rd it will be available on Disney Plus. But again, Ian, Barley, uh, Will, Corey, Mrs. Lightfoot, Officer Bargo, thank you for one truly enjoyable and magical quest. And oh yeah, guys, keep going onward.